Hello friends, Ace Botany next episode. In this episode, we'll be starting a new chapter, namely genetics. Parallelly, I'll be doing first year topic, photosynthesis in higher plants on Saturday. So each week, one second year topic, one first year topic. So second year, we'll be starting with the genetics, after finishing sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Channel name is Ace Botany. So we can proceed. So I will share the screen, so it will be convenient for you. I think screen came. So we can proceed. So unit 7, genetics and evolution. Under genetics, NCERT chapter number 4 and chapter number 5. 4 is dealing with the principles of inheritance. Chapter number 5 deals with molecular basis of inheritance. So we can proceed. The first page itself, that is the NCERT page, where NCERT trying to introduce this topic. What is inheritance? What is genotype? What is phenotype? And names of few scientists like Watson, Crick, Mendel, Kurana, Kornberg, likewise. And introducing about DNA, etc. So a totality of first chapter and second chapter just mentioned in this introduction NCERT page. So there's nothing to discuss much. 1 or 2 times I read it. NCERT only. And the next page, again NCERT, 2 famous scientists photo given. One is James Watson, other is Francis Crick. So no need of any introduction for these 2 scientists because DNA is concerned with them. That much work they done in DNA. And both received many prizes. Includes John Collins Warren Prize. Other is Lasker Award. Next is Research Cooperation Prize. And all of this, out of this, the top one, that is in 1962, they received Nobel Prize. Now this is a time where Nobel Prize is announcing. Medical Nobel Prize also announced, I think, today. So 1962, these 2 scientists received Nobel Prize. Both of them worked in DNA, connected with it, and took PhD, everything. So that also purely NCERT just mentioned. Now we'll be entering into our topic, chapter 4, Principles of Inheritance and Variation, first episode. Left top corner, you can find NCERT concepts. After that, I mentioned what all things we'll be discussing in this episode: inheritance and variation, characters of organism for genetic studies, examples, a brief history of genetics, some basic fundamental terms of genetics. So we can start with the 2 basic terms, inheritance and variation. Entire genetics, these 2 terms will be exclusively discussed. So everything is based on these 2 topics, inheritance and variation. So first we can observe what is meant by inheritance, can be also called as heredity. Tendency of the offsprings to resemble their parents. So automatically what is variation? Tendency of the offsprings to move away from the parents. Both the term 1 mark theory question. I think it is clear. Now what are the characters of organism used for genetical experiments or studies? All organisms not possible. There are certain criteria for it, which include 1. Shorter life cycle. 2. Large number of offsprings. 3. Offspring should show variation. 4. Economically viable. 5. Easy to maintain. And some of the organisms from plant side, animal side, fungus side, bacterial side, viral side, etc. given, one by one we can proceed. So plant side, Pisum sativum, garden pea, Lathyris odoratus, Siamese, Antirrhinum majus, Mirabilis jalapa, Nicotiana tobacco. Still, few more are there that will be learning when we proceed the chapter. Animal side, dogs, pigs, cats. Commonly used one is Drosophila. Fruit fly, rhesus monkeys, arch factor, guinea pigs. Now, among fungus, yeast, Neurospora, Aspergillus. Neurospora is commonly called Drosophile of the plant kingdom. Aspergillus is called guinea pig of the plant kingdom. Bacterial side, Escherichia coli, Pseudomonas, Bacillus, etc. Viral side, different types of viruses, including phage. Common one is adenoviruses that cause common cold. Humans generally not utilized in genetics because humans' life cycle is high, variation is comparatively less, and production of lesser number of offsprings, economically and ethically not practical. So I think that idea is clear. So we can proceed to next page. Now we are proceeding to genetics and historical events or history. Genetics is actually an old branch. We may think it is new. No, it is an old branch of science. And when we study about genetics, there is a famous statement, like begets like, means cat gives rise to cats only. Elephants gives rise to elephants only. So like begets like. That is heredity. Now, early agriculturists, NCERT given a range of year that is an important one, 8,000 to 10,000 BC, knew that. So that time itself, one of the cause of the variation was hidden in sexual reproduction. Then, old time itself, they have breeding, selective crossing, artificial selection, etc. That these items, they are knowing about it. And in Punjab, there is a famous cow, Indian cow, Sahiwal of Punjab. They developed this by breeding, selective crossing, artificial selection at many years back. But the problem is they don't know the exact science behind it. Scientific basis, they don't know. Now, genetics can be broadly divided into three periods. That is, before Mendel, Mendelism, after Mendel. So we can call it as pre-Mendelism, Mendelism, post-Mendelism. Pre means before. Pre-Mendelism, before Mendel, ancient time, speculations, etc., without much experimental proof. Then Mendelism, time of Mendel, where genetics steps were laid, fundamentals were laid. Then post-Mendelism, that is mainly going into molecular level, modern genetics. Now, the term genetics was given by William Bateson, an English biologist, in 1905. This is a popular view about the term genetics. The same person, William Bateson, given the terms like alleles, homozygous, heterozygous, F1, F2, etc. And the term genetics came from a root word, genesis, meaning is formation. I think that part is clear. Now we can proceed to Mendel's a brief history, brief only. Mendel was born on July 1822, died in 1884. And Mendel's most favorable plant was Pisum sativum, garden pea, also known as edible pea, garden pea, and he worked in this plant for 7 years, 1856 to 1863. History says initially Mendel took 34 varieties of pea plant for experiments. Then it is reduced to 22 and finally it came to 7. 7 pairs of varieties of pea, character-wise. And Mendel's work was published in 1865 in a local journal, namely Proceedings of Brunn Natural Science Society, because he was born in that area, Monravi, etc. And the book journal is Proceedings of Brunn Natural Science Society. But that work was not noticed initially. Then Mendel's work was rediscovered in 1900 by 3 different scientists that we'll be learning later. In 1901, The work was again published in Nature, famous journal, by other scientists. And Mendel's work later made into applicable to animals by another two scientists, Bateson and Punnett. That is, universal application was brought. Initially plants only, then animals also. Mendelian principles apply. Mendel's birthday was celebrated on July 22nd. Left side you can find garden pea, a habit, a twig with flowers, then a flower enlarged, then fruit with the seed, flower is bisexual, etc. I think that page is clear. Now, some basic terms of genetics. These terms we should familiarize, then only we can go to higher and higher areas. P1 and P2, plants used in initial cross, parent 1, parent 2. F1 is first hybrid generation, otherwise filial 1, offspring. F2 is produced from F1 after selfing of F1. So that 4 times P1, P2, F1, F2 clear, I think. Now comes homozygous. Homozygous means only dominant or only recessive, no hybrid nature. And this you will be more familiarized as we proceed. Pure tall, capital T, capital T. Pure dwarf, small t, small t. Heterozygous means like a hybrid, capital T, small t. T means tall, capital T. Small t means dwarf. So hybrid is capital T, small t. Even though it is hybrid, dominant character will be expressed, that is tall, capital T. Now what is hemizygous? Hemizygous means only one copy of a gene, rather than the usual 2 copies, only one copy. Typical example is normal human male, where we can find genotype is XY. Now comes dominant. What is meant by dominant character? Dominant character means character which is expressed in first filial generation. So for height, tall is dominant because it is expressed in F1. Recessive means character which is suppressed in F1. For height, dwarf is recessive, small t. Then comes true breed, pure for height, true breed, capital T, capital T. Then dwarf. Dwarf is small t, small t. So true breed means homozygous. That is, for tallness, capital T only, that is pure. For dwarfness, small t, that is true breed. I think the two words are clear. Now hybrid. Hybrid means a mixture. Capital T, small t is a hybrid. But that hybrid, capital T, small t, contains capital T. Character will be expressed as tall, and that is why tall is supposed to be dominant. Now comes character. Character means a feature. For example, height is a character. Flower color is a character. Now comes alleles. Alleles means contrasting pairs of characters are called alleles, tall, dwarf. Otherwise, it is called allelomorphic pairs. Otherwise, it is called allelomorphs. Now, trait. When we discuss trait, we should know what is a character. Height is a character, which has got 2 forms. One is tall, one is dwarf. So, tall and dwarf are otherwise called traits of height. I think that word is clear, trait. Now, phenotype. Phenotype means external appearance. How this external appearance comes? It's genotype. Genotype means arrangement, constitution of genes that plays along with the environmental effect. So phenotype is genotype plus environment. Now what is genotype? That is original gene constitution that we cannot find physically, externally, with eyes. Character will be expressed, that is based on genotype plus environment. I think that idea is clear. Phenotype, genotype plus environment, genotype, that is gene constitution. Now, what are the reasons for Mendel's success as well as failure? Success, correct choice of material by some sativa garden pea. After each experiment, you will have or you will keep the data very clean, accurate. Then, he has got a sound knowledge in mathematics and statistics. And he first used sampling methods. And after all this, some little bit luck factor. But luck factor is secondary, others are primary. Now, what are the reasons for failures of Mendel? The time when he was living, development was not that much developed. Second, use of mathematical principles. That idea is not common at that time. Third, idea of genes not established. Mendel used the term factor. Factor is now refers to be gene. So idea is not clear at that time. Linkage, no idea. Along with it, overdominance of some contemporary scientists like Darwin. So these all events cause failures of Mendel. I think that idea is clear. Experiments and further aspects we will be dealing in next episode. Then after that, as usual, 5 theory question, 5 NEET exam question with the key. So these are the main things we have to learn in this episode of genetics. Just an introduction. That is first page. We started with the NCERT. Then second page, again with the two famous scientists, Watson and Crick. Then third page onwards, we entered into the subject. 4 items, what we'll be discussing, starting with inheritance and variation. Then after that, characteristics of organism used in genetic studies, examples. Then a brief history regarding genetics. 3 eras, pre-Mendelism, Mendelism, post-Mendelism, or neo-Mendelism. After that, introduction of Pisum, sativa, features. Then some basic terms in genetics, success and failure for Mendelism. Then as usual, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question with the key. So we can meet later. Next episode, we'll be dealing with the photosynthesis. Again, after that, genetics, this way we'll be proceeding because first year students also requesting. So this alternately will be proceeding. So in a week, genetics, second year topic, 1 episode, first year topic, 1 episode. I think it is clear. If you are liking Ace Botany, please subscribe all, like it, share it, comment on it. We can meet in the next episode. Thank you.